Because what he needs most is grace. Okay? But what he received some graceless words. That's what he received. Okay? He received some graceless words. And I think, what can we take away from this text tonight? The value of grace. How important is extending grace when you're going through a very difficult time? Because one thing's appropriate, one thing that is needed more now than ever is grace. And that's why I called it extending grace to others. Extending grace to others. See somebody at the grocery store? Extend some grace to them. See somebody at the barber shop? Extend some grace to them. See somebody in the neighborhood? You got to extend grace to them. See, you and I got to learn to extend grace to people. Okay? We got to learn to extend. You go to school, extend some grace. You see, you sitting by somebody in the class, extend some grace to them. See somebody walking in the street, extend some grace to them. See, you and I got to learn how to extend grace. And Eliphaz did everything but extend grace. So when you go back and read chapter 15, Eliphaz is a picture of one who lacks grace. And then when you come to chapter 16, Job responds. Okay? So chapter 16, Job responds. Remember in chapter 15, Eliphaz start pounding again on Job. But in chapter 16, Job responds. Let me look at chapter 16. I'm almost done. Because I want to show you that when you and I lack grace, when you and I lack grace, when you and I refuse to extend grace to other people, it causes us to respond in certain ways. When you and I lack grace, it causes you and I to lack, or rather, causes us to cause others to respond in certain ways. And so, I want to show you how Job responds. Look at verse 1. You see in verse 1 of 16, Job 16, verse 1 say, then Job answered. You see that? Job 16, verse 1, then Job answered. Remember, chapter 15, Eliphaz started accusing Job again. Job, this is why you're going through what you're going through. Job, this is why you're going through, you're experiencing this pain. This is why. But in chapter 16, Job began to respond. Now, one thing I really like about Job, now when he responds, Job said, look, I'm going to fight back. I'm tired of taking all this beating. Look at chapter 16, verse 1. Job said, look, since y'all want to play dirty, verse 1 said, then Job answered and said, he said, look, I have heard many such things. Then Job called them, you miserable comforters, are you all. I mean, Job just just all of a sudden just seemed like he woke up and he got tired of being beat. He got tired of being pounded. In chapter 16, verse 2, he said, look, I've heard of many such things. Then he calls them, you miserable comforters are you all. He didn't just call Eliphaz a miserable comforter. He called Bildad and Zophar. He said, look, all of y'all. I mean, it just sounded like he just got tired. He said, look, all of y'all are some miserable comforters. That's what he said in verse 2. You are some miserable comforters. And the first thing I want you to notice about Job, whenever we refuse to give words of grace, whenever we refuse to extend grace to people, here's number one. People will become disgusted. Whenever you and I refuse to offer compassion, refuse to offer love, refuse to offer sympathy, refuse to offer grace, people will become disgusted. And then my first point, Job is disgusted. And when an individual gets disgusted, I'm telling you, they're going to fight back. And that's what Job does in verse 2. He said, look, I heard of many things. He said, you miserable comforters, or you all, he said, all of y'all, all of y'all are miserable comforters. It's almost an oxymoron statement. He said, you're a miserable comforter. In other words, he said, what? You bunch of sorry, miserable comforters, you all, Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar. He said, all of y'all. And I like the way that Job just responds. See, but whenever you and I refuse to extend grace to people, you can expect them to be disgusted. They just get disgusted. Okay? And here's what you see. Job now, he said, look, I've heard of many things. I've heard of many things as comforters. But he say, but this take the cake. This take the cake. I mean, he accuses his friend of just being miserable comforters. Because remember, the reason that they came there was to comfort him and mourn with him. But now I think Job done had enough. I think he done had enough, and now he just call them all of y'all are miserable comforters. And one thing Job can't understand is why is Eliphaz so upset with him? And he's the one going through. Look at verse 3. And that's one of the things. He can't understand, if I'm the one going through, why are you upset with me? Look at verse 3. He said, look, I'm the one going through. He said, shall words of wind have an end? Oh, he said, what provokes you that you answer? He said, if I'm the one going through, why are you mad at me? I'm the one going through. And that's the question that Job asked Eliphaz. Why are you so uptight with me and I'm the one going through it? He said, don't be mad at me. He said, don't be mad at me, you bunch of sorry comforters. I mean, Job, he don't smile. I mean, Job just responds. And let me tell you something. With some people, the only language they understand is that you gotta go tit for tat. Okay? They come at you strong, the only language they understand, you gotta go back at them strong. Okay? Sometimes you gotta learn to fight fire with fire. I mean, Job got tired. He said, he called them you miserable comforters. I mean, Job just got tired. And that's what Job called him. I mean, Job, can you see Job? He done took all of that, all the accuses, all the insults, all of the attack, and now Job is ready to speak the truth. He's ready to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You know? And sometimes you need to tell people the truth. Stop trying to sugarcoat it. Stop trying to, sugarcoat it with little Christian cliches. Job just went straight for it and said, listen, okay, you are miserable comforters. So he's showing that he's just disgusted. He's very disgusted. Okay? And that's one of the things. Whenever you and I lack grace, we cause other people to get disgusted. And when they get disgusted, they will come back. They may speak the truth. They may come back. Because the only language some people understand who lacks grace is fighting fire with fire. Okay? Here's number 2. Because when you and I lacks grace, not only will they get disgusted, when you and I lacks grace, lacks extending grace to other people, right there. Not only does he lack grace, he is distressed. Okay? Not only is he disgusted, but he is distressed. D-I-S-T-R-E-S-S-E-D. He is distressed. What is distress? Distress is when an individual is suffering from some type of anxiety, some type of pain. Okay? That's what it means to be distressed, when you're suffering through some type of pain. And Job is going through all of this pain. He's suffering through this pain. And so he is distressed. Okay? Jump down to verse 7. So Job is very distressed. He's very distressed. And why is he distressed? Remember, he's disgusted because Eliphaz is supposed to be there to mourn and comfort with him, but he's distressed because God is not answering him. Okay? Remember, he's disgusted because of Eliphaz, but he's distressed because God is silent and God is not answering. And so now he's distressed. Okay? And what happened is, and we was talking about this a little bit earlier today in our noonday Bible class, when an individual get distressed, they feel, I'm going through all of this. What's the use? What's the use? In other words, they almost give up. They almost quit. They almost just said, what's the use? God is not answering. God act like he don't even see what I'm going through. God act like he don't see, how I'm being treated. Yeah, I'm being treated like this, and God ain't doing nothing. God ain't answering. I'm not getting, my condition is getting no better. And the only thing it's doing is getting worse. And whenever an individual get distressed, they almost want to just give up. And that's the place that Job is at. Okay? That's the place that Job is at. He don't turn his back on God, but he's distressed because God isn't answering, and my condition, my situation is getting no better, but it's getting a whole lot worse. And so he's distressed. And whenever you and I lack grace, number one, people can get disgusted, but also not only do people get disgusted, people get distressed. They can almost just feel like, I want to just give up. And then when you read from chapter 16 to all the way, the whole Job 16, all the way to chapter 17, verse 1, look at Job 16, verse 7. I'm going to read this, and I'm almost done. Yeah, I'm almost done. So look at verse 7. Job 16, verse 7 says this. I mean, he's at this place where I'm sick and tired of just being sick and tired, because now he's hurting. He's in pain. I mean, here's from verse 7 through the end of the chapter. I mean, you just hear the word of a stressed out man. He just seemed like nothing's going right. Just feel like I want to quit. Look what he said in verse 7. Job 16:7. But now he has worn me out. You see verse 7? I mean, he just feel like he want to just quit. Anybody ever been there? When you see like, man, God is not answering. Can't God see what they're doing to me? Can't God see what I'm experiencing? My situation is getting no better. I try to be faithful to God. I love God. I read my Bible. I try to live the Christian life. I try to be faithful. I go to church every Sunday. But nothing getting better. Seems like things are just getting worse. My body's racked with pain. I'm taking one pill for this thing, another pill for that thing, and ain't nothing getting no better. What's the use? They ain't not getting no better. Instead of getting better, things are getting a whole lot worse. And that's where Job at. In verse 7, he just said, but now he has just worn me out. You have made desolate all my company. You have shriveled me up. Remember, this is what Job said. Remember, he's distressed because of God. Remember, he's disgusted because of Eliphaz, but he's distressed because of God. And verse 8 said, you have shriveled me up, and it is a witness against me. My leanness riseth up against me and bears witness to my face. He tears me in his wrath and hates me. He gnashes at me with his teeth. My adversary sharpens his gaze on me. They gape at me with their mouth. They strike me reproachfully on the cheek. They gather together against me. God has delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over to the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, but he has shattered me. He also has taken me by my neck and shaken me to pieces. He has set me up for his target. His archers surround me. He pierces my heart and does not pity. He pours out my gall on the ground. He breaks me with the wound upon wound. He runs at me like a warrior. I have sewn sackcloth over my skin and laid my head in the dust. My face is flushed from weeping. He said, I've been crying so much, I'm all out of tears now. He said, and my eyelids is like shadows of death. Although no violence is in my hands, and my prayer is pure. O earth, do not cover my blood, and let my cry have no resting place. Surely even now my witness is in heaven, and my evidence is on high. My friends scorn me, my eyes pour out tears to God. Oh, that one might plead for a man with God, as a man pleads for his neighbor. For when a few years are finished, I shall go the way of no. Job said, look, I'm ready to die. Look what he said in verse 1 of chapter 17. Remember, he said, my spirit is broken. He said, my spirit is broken. My days are extinguished. He said, the grave is ready for me. Do you see that? He's ready to die. He's disgusted. He's distressed. Everything going wrong. Everything going wrong for him. He's at a place where he's depressed. He's at the bottom of the bottom. Okay? He's at the bottom of the bottom. But not only is he disgusted, he's distressed. Here's the last one. He's despondent. He's despondent. What is despondent, Pastor? Well, to be despondent is when a person is very, in other words, he's low in spirit. He's low in spirit because he has lost hope. In other words, he's low in spirit because he has lost hope. Okay? He's disgusted, he's distressed, but also he's despondent. That means he's low in spirit. And you see that in verse 1. My spirit is broken. He's discouraged. He's disheartened. He's hopeless. He's almost ready to just give up. Because why? He's hit rock bottom. And right now, death seems, the only relief to him now seems like would be death. Seems like the only relief for him right now would be the grave. The grave looked very inviting for him right now because of what he's going through. Why? Because he's lost hope. And he ain't getting no hope from nobody around him. Not from Eliphaz, not from Bildad, not from Zophar, not even from Sister Job. He's at a place where he just feels totally confused. Nobody's there to reassure him. Nobody there to encourage him. He's going through a very difficult time in his life. And now he's despondent. That's where Job is. He's very despondent. And what happened is when you and I refuse to extend grace to other people, it can put them in a very low place. It can put them in a very low place. And listen, everybody go through things, and everybody needs to be extended grace, extended compassion, extended patience. Everybody needs to be extended grace. Going out of my way to be a help, a source of strength to somebody else. Eliphaz lacked grace. Let me ask you a question. Are you one who lacks grace? Or are you another Eliphaz? Are you always putting down, always insulting, always condemning, always criticizing, always judgmental? But as a Christian, all of us need to always practice extending grace to others. Hey, listen, I'm going to stop right there tonight, because remember, whenever you and I lacks grace, and Eliphaz was one, he lacked words of grace. And because he lacked words of grace, Job was number one. He was disgusted, he was distressed, and he was despondent. And so I want us tonight to work on extending grace to others, extending compassion to others. Go out of my way to show love to others. Go out of my way to be kind to others. Will you do that? I'm out of my time, but I'm not out of message tonight. But I'm going to stop right there, and I hope and pray that, this lesson was a blessing to you, and you got to go back and look at it again, and go back and read Job 15, 16, and 17. And I hope you're encouraged as well as I am. It's really encouraging me. There are some things that I have to learn about me. And one of them is learning to be able to extend grace to others. Hey, look, I'm out of my time tonight, but listen, always remember, you be good to God, God will be good to you. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer. Blessings to you.